An increase in domestic production of oil and gas in the Black Sea is a sacred duty for enhancing the energy independence of the country. Until now, the production facilities of Chernomornaftogaz, a business outfit of the national shareholders company Naftogaz, were extremely limited. Hydrocarbons were extracted out of water by only 2 outdated oil rigs made in 1989 and 1995. All over the world, such rigs are custom-made and quite expensive, so the decision to purchase a new modern rig was a long one. And then finally it happened. Energy Minister Yuriy Boyko even boasted of the new thing on the air of the TV station Inter.
Today we bought the most modern drilling platform in Singapore. I mean, Naftogaz did. And in autumn we will install it in the Black Sea at the Subotnitsky deposit.
It's not every day that Ukrainian state-owned companies buy something for $400 million. That was the amount of the transaction. The acquisition of the drilling platform caught the attention of journalists from the reputable weekly Mirror of the Week. Detailed analysis of the conducted tender procedure led to a sensational conclusion.
This rig that was sold at the tender procedure, its real price on the world market is 150 million less.
Could the national shareholders company Naftogaz have overpaid 40% of the price? And if so, who pocketed the $150 million? The journalist's investigation showed that it was those who carried out the tender procedure that were the least interested in saving public money. Last year, on December 13, Chernomornaftogaz declared an open tender procedure for the acquisition of a floating drilling rig. Applications for participation were accepted from 2 companies, Highway Investment Processing LLP and Falcona Systems Limited. The latter offered a price only $10 million higher and of course lost. Both companies have offshore companies among the founders. What's more, through research, Mirror of the Week journalists disclosed that both were fronted by the same persons, Stas Gorin and Eric Vanagels of Latvia. The names of these 2 international financial swindlers were mentioned earlier in reports by the American law firm Trout Catcheries that were devastating for the Tymoshenko government.
We concluded that the 2 firms that participated in the tender procedure are linked to each other. They have the same founders, and that is a violation of Ukrainian laws.
Exclamation mark made a query to Chernomornaftogaz. In response, we received the following.
The company that offered the lowest price among all the participants won the tender procedure. Chernomornaftogaz does not possess any information that Eric Vanagels is allegedly related to both participants of the open tender procedure that took place.
Let's go over to the winner, Highway Investment Processing. The fictitious nature of the firm is revealed by its website. Firstly, this page, which can only be called a travesty of a website, was created 2 weeks before the announcement of the results of the tender procedure. Secondly, it indicates that Highway Investments is a large international company based in Cardiff, Wales, the United Kingdom. But the portal has Ukrainian hosting, i.e. registration, and was developed by designers from the company Delta X in Kiev.
If not for this site, perhaps we would not have begun our inquiry, but they just really threw the firm into Google, and it's very easy to learn when the site was created. Every other internet user certainly knows how to do that.
The fact that a supposedly famous British firm originates in Ukraine is proven by another detail. When downloading pictures of the mentioned platforms, files are assigned names that are not quite English, the simple Tovar 1 and Tovar 2. But when reporters ran them through a service for similar images, they discovered that these are drilling platforms of a truly large Singaporean company, Keppel. Its website, in contrast to pages of fencing firms, is much more informative. It turns out that last year, on December 3rd, 10 days before the announcement of the tender procedure by Naftogaz, the company Keppel had just finished building a new drill set ordered by their permanent distributor, Seadrill, the same one depicted in photos with funny signature Tovar 1 and Tovar 2. Indeed, it is a Class B West Juno sea drilling rig. And on April 13 this year, after the completion of the Naftogaz tender procedure, Seadrill happily reported on its website that it had sold the very same platform to an anonymous British buyer. The price $248.5 million. The secret buyer, it seems, is the offshore Highway Investment Processing, who resold the drilling platform to Chornomornaftogaz at $400 million, thus making $150 million on the state of Ukraine.
What's really sad is that 80% of the money for this tower was prepaid. This means that money has gone to Cardiff, then to the British Virgin Isles, where the founders of the winning company are from. I wonder where they went afterwards. Unfortunately, you can't see that on the internet.
To get a meaningful comment from Energy Minister Yuriy Boyko is an elusive task. But when exclamation mark managed to catch him at a government meeting to ask where the extra $150 million for the drilling tower have gone to, we heard the following metaphorical comparison.
Have you ever bought a car?
Yes.
Oh, have you? Do you know what a basic model is?
Yes.
Do you now? Is a car with air conditioning and an automatic gearbox more expensive or cheaper?
It is more expensive.
Make a comparison.
So the complete tower is $150 million more expensive than the basic model?
Who said 150 million? You said it. It wasn't me.
The other person responsible for the tender procedure is the head of Naftogaz, Yevgen Bakulin. Exclamation mark asked him what exactly the intermediary received an additional $150 million for.
In addition to the tower, there's a whole range of other activities, services and equipment. Moreover, the tower is located in Singapore. You need to ship it here. In order to do that, you have to prepare it, test it, install it, and start it here. We can't purchase equipment that doesn't work here. You understand that. I need to speak to you. The Russians gave us a gas balance.
Yuriy Boyko does not seem like a minister eager to answer to the community about the $150 million overspent on his super tower. He vaguely and confusedly talks of some sort of gadgets, additional services and equipment that are part of the prepaid order. This, however, is complete nonsense. After all, the result of the tender procedure is printed in black and white. The $400 million bought a floating drilling rig, one unit only. That's all. If there had been additional equipment, it would have been recorded. It doesn't happen otherwise. This large-scale rollback obviously should have caught the attention of law enforcement agencies. Instead, according to Minister Boyko, they should deal with the journalists. The minister calls the Mirror of the Week investigation a paid campaign and intimidates the journalists with Ukraine's security service.
We will go to the security service and ask them to find out who the customer is and who will not allow us to increase our energy independence. Because we care about our dignity, our conscience and our calm nights, Mirror of the Week authors have decided to sue Minister Yuriy Boyko because he believes that our articles are paid for.
Don't complain about the Mirror when your own mug is ugly. This saying is the best response to Minister Boyko. There is more than enough evidence. Highway Investment Processing, the winner of the $400 million tender procedure, is nothing but an intermediary company, a so-called pad that was created solely for this purchase and designed to shoot up the price of the goods. This is how $150 million from the Ukrainian budget was pocketed. It's obvious to everyone except the General Prosecutor's Office, which has not reacted at all to the press article, although it should have immediately initiated a criminal case. This scandal is clear evidence of the enormous corruption that now prevails in public procurement. But their parliament wants to hide it in the shadows even more. According to the already adopted new version of the law on public procurement, everything that state-owned companies like Naftogaz want to buy will be taken away from under the control of the law. What, from whom and at what price state-owned enterprises make their acquisitions will be decided by the government behind closed doors. In addition, the amount of public information on tender procedures still published by the Journal of Public Procurement will be greatly reduced. However, Viktor Yanukovych could still veto the openly corrupt and lobbying law. The presidential administration is already under criticism from the European Union and the World Bank. It's a good thing that shouts from abroad can at least lower the appetites of Ukrainian officials that get fed on government purchases paid for by the public money.